Stone Cold Steve Austin's heel turn at WWE WrestleMania 17 remains one of the most shocking moments in WWE history. Here are 8 things people often forget about this monumental shift in Steve Austin's career. Number 1, it was aligning with Vince McMahon. The most shocking aspect of this heel turn was the fact that he aligned with his longtime nemesis, his big-time rival, the always evil Vince McMahon. For years, Austin's character thrived on being the anti-authority kind of guy. He would not take anything that Vince McMahon had to offer. And fans, they were stunned when he shook hands with the very man that he had feuded with during the peak era of the Attitude Era, a era in which changed WWE's business around. And number 2, it didn't turn fans against him instantly. Despite turning heel, shaking hands with Vince, many fans continued to cheer for Austin after his alignment with McMahon. Austin was such a beloved figure that the audience didn't immediately accept him as a villain, making it difficult for him to fully turn heel and for it to stick in their minds. Number 3, it was the return of Stone Cold Stunners. Although Austin had aligned with McMahon, he still used a Stone Cold Stunner on Vince and other authority figures at times. This created confusion for fans as Austin's rebellious nature hadn't completely disappeared yet and made his heel persona feel inconsistent. So one minute he's a heel, the next minute he is a tweener, aka babyface. That's a little confusing for people to understand. Number 4, it was his increased paranoia. During his heel run, Steve Austin's character became more paranoid and more insecure about losing the WWE Championship, a championship in which Vince McMahon helped him win over The Rock at WrestleMania 17. This was a shift from the confident, fearless Stone Cold fans were used to. His insecurities played a large role in his actions, consistently looking to McMahon for approval and trying to secure his reign at all costs. Number 5, it was forming the 2-man power trip with Triple H. One often overlooked aspect of Austin's heel run was his partnership with Triple H, which became known as the 2-man power trip. Together, they dominated the company, winning the tag team titles, the Intercontinental Championship, solidifying their control over the company. Think about this. So you had Triple H as IC, you had both of them as tags, and then you had Austin as the top guy as the world champion. Pretty powerful if you say so. Number 6, it was Steve Austin's change in in-ring style. Did you notice this? Because after turning heel, Austin altered his in-ring style to suit his new personality. He began relying more on technical wrestling, submissions, and even more dirty tactics than before, moving away from the smash-mouth brawling type style that had defined him in his earlier career. This change was designed to further distance himself from the fan favorite image. It's always the little things, and Austin was such a genius when it came to that. Number 7, it was heel turn took place at the height of his popularity. One of the reasons that the heel turn was so polarizing among fans was that it actually happened during the height of Austin's popularity. He had just returned from neck injury the year prior, and fans were eager to see him reclaim his spot at the top. WWE capitalized on this by executing the heel turn. But it was so risky because fans were still so invested in Stone Cold as a hero. Now, at number 8, as we finish out this list, did you guess it yet? Number 8, it's the attempt to turn him babyface again quickly afterwards. WWE, Steve Austin, the company, they quickly realized that the heel turn wasn't working as well as they had expected, especially with fans still cheering him on. By the time the Invasion storyline occurred, the worst storyline in wrestling history, Austin had already began showing signs of reverting back to his babyface persona. His interactions with Kurt Angle during this time, filled with comedic moments, helped ease the transition back to being a fan favorite. Stone Cold Steve Austin's heel turn was one of WWE's most ambitious storylines, but its execution and timing made it controversial of the challenging nature of being able to maintain it. Despite that, it remains a key moment in his legendary career. Why did Stone Cold Steve Austin turn heel? He felt like he was getting stale as a babyface. So him aligning with Vince McMahon was the biggest thing that could turn him heel. I mean, after years and years and years of going at it with this man. And Steve Austin, if you really look at it, once he got into mid to late 99, the hype and the height of that Steve Austin character, it started to dwindle just a little bit. And he luckily went away due to neck surgery. He was out the majority of 2000. And so when he was out, people got to miss him. And whenever you're not around, people miss you and you want to see them come back. And so when he came back, it all worked out. But I think Austin pulled the trigger a little too early. There were ways in which you could have gone about it, and they literally were like, you know what, we're not going to make a few changes. We're just going to blow up this character, because that's essentially what they did when you turn Stone Cold Steve Austin, you put him with Vince McMahon as a heel. They blew up the character. They blew up the feud. They blew up the storyline, and it was crushing to a lot of people. I remember seeing that the following Monday night on Raw, and it was like, I could not believe my eyes. Now, granted, I was 7, so a lot of WWE programming at this time, I couldn't believe my eyes, but you get the gist. Like, it was that polarizing, it was that crazy, and to see where he eventually went, I thought the end of 2001, he was pretty decent, but then he lost his way in early 2002, never regained it, obviously beat Scott Hall in that horrific WrestleMania 18 match. I have no idea what they were doing there. On paper, yes, it had star power, but on execution, it was just piss poor. Then, obviously, him having the fallout with company, with Vince, the Brock Lesnar not putting him over thing, doing the King of the Ring qualifier on Monday Night Raw, just wasn't going to work. Just wasn't going to work. So he took his ball and went home. Obviously, he came back early 2003, worked the WrestleMania 19 pay-per-view event, put over The Rock in his retirement match, and was retired for many years. Returned in 2022, put over Kevin Owens. Yeah, it's pretty interesting to see how everything plays out like that. Let me know down in the description below or in the commentary below, what do you think about this heel turn? What do you think about Steve Austin? And much, much more. I will see each and every one of you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting. And I'll see y'all next time.